And we're back for the second night of drafting to try and draft some of the 10 Formula 2 drivers who will go alongside the Formula 1 drivers. By the way, this is a promotion for them, so this is very much like coming out of college to go to the NFL, go alongside, become second drivers at the Formula 1 teams for the 2020 season. This is insanely exciting, and in the next half an hour or so, me and Jordan are going to be making 10 of these Formula 2 prospects very, 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 very happy. So let's see what we've chosen. So of course we are going to be doing the ascending order as we did yesterday for the teams. So on the clock first, the draft is open, and first to pick is Williams. Now again, we are in Formula 2. You know, Formula 2 might not be known to many people out there in terms of, you know, how good the drivers are. Again, it's not as highly broadcasted as Formula 1, but of course we are here to try and help you through that and help the drivers and help your picks through. So for the first pick, I'm going to go with a bit of not the most successful Formula 2 driver, but a man who I think he's had ties with them before. He's British, very much like Lewis Hamilton, and we've met him, so fair enough, it might sound a little bit biased, and that of course is Campos racing driver Jack Aitken. Now, he's had ties with Williams before. He was the reserve driver in 2019. Also, when the ties was obviously when he left the team when he left his original Formula 2 team, which I believe was Renault or the Renault Junior team. Obviously, before he went to Campos, he was part of Williams. There was a lot of talk about him, you know, in the junior program. Obviously, one day driving in that Williams seat, and obviously replacing one of the two drivers that they have at the moment, obviously Nicholas Latifi or George Russell, when George would go to Mercedes, for example. A strong driver, very good, very fast behind the wheel. Of course, when we went to Silverstone last year, we saw him win the race, one of the F2 races there. So Jack Aitken is my decision for Williams alongside Lewis Hamilton. Jordan, so Williams, who should we sign from Formula 2? Do you agree with Jack Aitken, and who should we sign alongside Hamilton?
Ooh, Formula 2 is going to be a bit more tricky for us because, you know, we're not like we follow Formula 2, but 2020 was supposed to be the year that we properly followed Formula 2, and that just went out the pan, didn't it? I mean, Jack Aitken, yes, was with Renault, got dropped, went to Williams along with some other drivers like Jamie Chadwick and Dan Ticktum and stuff. So and yeah, you know, he's been supported by them as well. I would have thought that Williams would have went with somebody in terms of I thought out of any team, I thought the first pick immediately would be Mick Schumacher. Yeah. He's not the best, but he's got Schumacher. That name is legendary in Formula 1. It's the holy grail of all names. You know, Mick Schumacher, at time of recording, is the most successful Formula 1 driver of all time in terms of wins, in terms of championships.
Records.
What?
Recorded a lot.
Why did I say recordings?
7 times world champion of recording.
My God, that is. Anyways, it's been tough. And you know, like I said, the Schumacher name, you're going to get media attention. It doesn't matter where he goes, whether it's Williams, Haas, or Mercedes. It's going to be all eyes on Schumacher, and that's what teams like Williams need. They need that attention. They need all the cameras on their car for sponsors appealing and stuff to help them push up the grid, get some funding in. They've got Hamilton. In our world, he has signed the contract, which is good news. So Hamilton's got the contract along with Mick Schumacher. One very well experienced driver. Mick, he's got a lot to learn. Absolutely, you know, he's quick. Don't get me wrong, he's a quick driver. But he can learn a lot from Lewis Hamilton, and I think that's probably a really good combination. And obviously Hamilton to drive alongside, he's driven alongside Schumacher before, of course. When he was at McLaren, raced against him, and then he replaced Schumacher when Lewis went to Mercedes in 2013. And of course, worked alongside Mick. You know, Lewis could learn a thing or two from Mick. So I think they would have went with Mick Schumacher, the first pick, even if it was Haas, even if it was Alfa Romeo. I think anybody would have went with Mick Schumacher. But it's not my choice, Lyle. It's your choice. I think you should push for Mick Schumacher. But
see, the thing is, I was going to say Mick Schumacher for a different team. I was going to say we've got 2 Ferrari teams coming up very shortly. I was going to say Mick Schumacher should be in one of them. But you know what, then fair enough, you've twisted me arm. And I'm going to say for the 11th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, Williams select for the second driver Mick Schumacher. Haas are now on the clock.
So Haas have got second pick, and straight away from one for driver again, Mick Schumacher. Like I said, I think he'll get picked. So now that in terms of that, that's not really talent wise. That's more naming. So now we move on to talent. This driver, I'm a big fan of, Robert Schwartzman. Robert won the Formula 3 Championship. He's going to come into Formula 2 this season to partner alongside Mick Schumacher at Prima Racing. That was going to be a very, very strong lineup, and that lineup almost divided the entire F1 online community. One side was Schumacher, the other side was Schwartzman. It was like you are one or the other. Essentially, that's how big it was going to get, and hopefully we can get a season underway and see this rivalry in full one day. Schwartzman, very talented driver, very quick. He's got a really good record behind him. He brings money as well, which is critical for the lower teams. Having links with Ferrari, Haas, they've got Charles, have Schwartzman, got two quick drivers, young drivers, and I think for me that's a very strong lineup. They might trip over each other just a little bit, and yeah, I think that rivalry could boil over at one stage, which is always good for Formula One. Having both two teammates having fisticuffs with one another, trying to punch each other in the face. It might not get that extreme, but in terms how competitive these two are, I think absolutely, there could be a bit of a rivalry here, and of course two really, really good drivers. So yeah, I'm going to say Robert Schwartzman for this one. Lyle, are you in agreement with me, or do you think someone else could fill the seat?
No, I agree, Robert Schwartzman. Of course, Mick Schumacher, as I said, I was kind of saving him for we're in one of two. Obviously, the next one is Alfa Romeo. Most likely, you would have gone for them. I was about to put Mick in. I was going to put Mick in this seat. Of course, it was your decision, but I was going to say Mick for this seat and Robert for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree, Robert. So yeah, I would just go ahead and choose what we all expect. Very much like Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes. Williams. We all expected that. Robert to Haas.
So yep, fair enough. Lyle agrees with me on that one, and hopefully Haas will be very happy with the driver that they've got, Charles Leclerc, and of course Robert Schwartzman for the 12th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft. Haas have selected Robert Schwartzman. Alfa Romeo are on the clock.
Alfa Romeo. Now I've got a good pick for them. Who is Italian, fierce. He's not old. I don't mean that. He's more mature in Formula 2. He finished third last year. Very, very strong. He's got that fire in him. And someone who has been really basically pulling at the trousers. I don't know what the phrase is, but like a dog. Wanting to get into Formula 1 for many, many years. He's a pro at Ferrari and different teams like that. And I think he actually is in talks with Alfa Romeo. He's done work with Haas before, so I was a bit surprised that we didn't look at him for that team. But another Ferrari team, another Ferrari test driver. It is Luca Giordo. Now, we've seen him win at Silverstone before. A very strong driver, as I say, a very strong third place in the 2019 Formula 2 standings. Not much to say about him, just really ferocious. He's Italian, he's got that fire in him, 25 years old as well, so he's still got a lot to prove with the team. Obviously, I said Sebastian Vettel yesterday, an older driver, more experience, and the thing is, he's enjoyed working with Charles Leclerc, Sebastian. The age gap has been good. I do feel like Charles looks up to him, but Charles is stronger than Seb, and he's obviously much stronger than Luca. So Charles is not really kind of a second fiddle to Sebastian Vettel. Whereas now Luca Giordo, 25 second place coming from Formula 2, ferocious fiery Ferrari driver, will be looking at Sebastian Vettel, this four-time world champion, Luca Giordo will love the opportunity to work with Sebastian. He will love it, and that's why I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Luca Giordo for Alfa Romeo. Jordan, what do you think about it? Of course, we've seen him win. We saw him win at the British Grand Prix last year. So, what do you think about choice Italian team for an Italian driver?
Yeah, I think Giordo. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Giordo, but I know he's been in Formula 2 for a long time, for a while. He's missed some opportunities to go into Formula 1. In real life, he was actually supposed to leave Formula 2 and go off to, I think it was endurance racing, but then came back. I think he was going to come back to do like 6 or 7 races, and then the other races he couldn't have done. It clashed with his other drive at one of the endurance sports. I can't remember which one it was. Luca Giordo, Italian, Alfa Romeo, goes hand in hand. Yeah, I think it could work. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, like I said, I'm not too clued up on Luca Giordo. I've got a couple of people in mind who could go there who are part of the Ferrari Academy, but I think, you know what, Giordo, I think he might deserve a seat in Formula One. You might agree with me on that. You might not agree with me on that, but I'm gonna agree with Lyle. I'm gonna say Luca Giordo, Italian in the Alfa Romeo alongside Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, I'm agreed.
Good. So I will lock it in then, of course. So for the 13th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, Alfa Romeo Ferrari will be selecting Luca Giordo. Fourth team, which was Racing Point, are now on the clock.
So Racing Point. Who do you pick for Racing Point? Verstappen. Racing Point. Now, Racing Point, of course, drafted in Max Verstappen. Very, very good driver, of course. Like we explained yesterday, so he needs, of course, he is going to get a Formula 2 driver alongside him. Who's that driver going to be? I think, again, going with youth. Well, of course, they're going with youth, but there are some F2 drivers who are probably older than some Formula 1 drivers, and that's what I mean about missed opportunities in Formula 2. Like Luca Giordo, I think he's like 23, 24. I think he's like 25. He's a lot older than the average Formula 1 driver, in the grid today, especially the younger generation of drivers. So I think Racing Point will be going for, again, another up-and-coming talent. I think the other driver will be Marcus Armstrong. Again, I don't know too much about Marcus Armstrong. I'm hearing good things about him. I think his junior record I think he's got a good CV. I think he is part of the Ferrari Academy. Quick, consistent, up-and-coming talent. I think, absolutely. Get him in alongside Max Verstappen. And once again, he can learn a lot from Max, and possibly he could be one of those drivers that could push Max over the edge. And I think that is two drivers who could, again, very consistent, very good, build them a good car. I think those two could be teammates for a very long time. Who knows? Unless another team comes sniffing, but they don't have to leave. So I think those two, Max Verstappen and Marcus Armstrong, could be, go well together at the likes of Racing Point. Lyle, are you in agreement?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I say, don't really know too much about Marcus Armstrong. He sounds British, so I'm going to say yes, that's good. Sorry, he's a New Zealander, actually. And yeah, I think that he'll be a good fix. And obviously, youth, and obviously someone who will definitely look up to Max Verstappen. I think everyone in the Formula 2 grid would, apart from maybe a few. So, for example, like Luca Delatraz, Luca Giordo, Mazepin, maybe Schwartzman and Schumacher, the experienced ones and the little bit older ones. But apart from that, the newer drivers, obviously like Armstrong, will definitely look up to him. So I'm very happy to select him for Racing Point, Aston Martin.
Yeah, exactly. So we're in agreement with that one. So for the 14th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, Racing Point have selected Marcus Armstrong. AlphaTauri are now on the clock.
See, with AlphaTauri, I have one driver in mind, but I'm feeling like he's popular. In my eyes, I think he's one of the best Formula 2 drivers. As I say, I'm trying to follow a lot more. I'm not I wasn't massive into Formula 2 before. Obviously, as me and John, we're trying to pick it up. So there's one in mind that I was going to say, but I'm going to save him for later because we haven't really said him yet. So I'm thinking if we save him for later, he might be in a top team. But there's one that I was thinking for Racing Point, but I'm now going to give him a retrieve because if I didn't see him then, I'll see him now for the next step up, which of course is Arden Marcoloth. He races under the BWT sponsor and obviously with links to Racing Point. I think that would be a great fit for him. Again, someone who has been obviously through the programs of Mercedes when he was growing up. If you drive for Scuderia Toros or Scuderia AlphaTauri, you will of course be in the Red Bull Junior program. I think it would be a great program to get him into Formula 1. So yes, I think that it would be a great fix for him at AlphaTauri. Jordan, Arden Marcoloth, obviously someone who has been in Formula 2 for a number of years now. What are you thinking about a drive at AlphaTauri alongside who was he driving alongside? Was it Daniel Ricciardo?
Daniel Ricciardo, yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo driving alongside. I mean, somebody who, again, experienced, he will love that. I mean, what do you think about Arden Marcoloth?
I think Marcoloth he's a popular character in the Formula 2 paddock. I think he stood in for when, obviously, Antoine Hubert tragically lost his life. I think he stood in for the next 2 or 3 rounds, I believe. And then he came in for a full time seat for what was supposed to be 2020. So he's got, obviously he'll bring money from Russia, which is obviously always essential for any seat. Yeah, I think Marcoloth could do well alongside Ricciardo, get in the results that he needs. I mean, he's not like I say, he's a popular character. He's probably not the kind of the next world champion, I suppose. But absolutely, kind of replicating real life AlphaTauri, having a Russian in there as well. So yeah, get him in at Toro. I need to say Toro Rosso there. Get him in at AlphaTauri. He can have his chance in Formula One. And yeah, let's see how it goes. It's getting exciting now. It's getting a bit harder though. Moving on. There's still a couple of drivers in there, but it's getting harder. But yeah, I'm in full agreement of Marcoloth being in AlphaTauri.
Awesome. Well, with the 15th, is it the 15th pick? 15th, 14th.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, 15th.
15th. Awesome. Well, there we go then. Well, with the 15th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, Scuderia AlphaTauri select Arden Marcoloth. Renault are now on the clock.
I think Renault will be choosing, one of their own. I'm pretty sure he is part of their junior academy. And maybe I think a few people might have forgot about this driver who did, might have, crossed over some people's minds. Renault were like, don't pick him.
Yeah.
Christian Lundgaard,
Ooh.
Danish driver. I think I think K-Mag is the most successful Danish driver in Formula 1 history, of course. I think he's the only one to stand on the podium as well. So I think Lundgaard could be a threat to those records. Again, he is an up-and-coming talent. I have heard about him before. I have heard he did well in Formula Renault as well. I think he did well in Formula 3. So he's got a lot of potential in this driver. Renault as well. Again, Renault, they're a team that need to move forward, and again, having one of their own in the car who knows the team, who knows the people around it, of course, knows where the factory is, of course. He can just get in there, get in the car, get comfortable. It might take him 1 or 2 races just to get settled, but give him time, then I'm pretty sure that Renault he'll be there for the long haul, as long as he can keep delivering results. Because Renault have 1 or 2. There's another driver I had in mind who could potentially fill in that seat, should Lundgaard maybe reject or doesn't do well, that they could swap in as well. But we might mention him later on, I don't know, but we'll see. Again, who is also part of their rankings. So Lyle, Christian Lundgaard, I'm a fan of his. I like him. I'm aware of this driver. Do you think going to Renault, do you think that's a good fit, or do you think there's someone else that you could maybe put in there to kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons, as they normally say?
There's Christian Lundgaard, good driver, but yes, there is somebody else I've got in mind, and for the second time tonight, I'm going to bring him up. It's Jack Aitken.
Okay.
We met him, and when we met him, we said to him, are you going to be in that Renault seat? And he said, we don't know what's happening with Nico Hülkenberg, and we don't, but we now do. First, he got replaced by Esteban Ocon, but in this draft, he didn't even get drafted at all. Jack Aitken, let go from Renault, not very good. Obviously, found Campos, great team, but yes, I think that Renault will be a good fit for him. As I say, in real life, it probably could be Williams if he was ever going to get to Formula 1. But now, I do think that Renault would be a good shot. And of course, that's why he's in the Formula 2 team. So I'm going to say, Jordan, I don't agree with you, even though I do think Lundgaard will be a good shout. I'm going to say Jack Aitken for the Renault seat. But of course, it is your decision.
He has put a cat amongst the pigeons. Oh, now. What do I do? What do I say? I've got Jack Aitken. I've got Lundgaard. See, I rate Lundgaard more, but Aitken, he is still a good driver, yeah. I'm going to say Lundgaard, because I rate him. I do rate him more than Jack. Jack is a good driver, of course, and I've actually raced against him, not in the real world, virtually, of course, and he's alright. He's alright. But no, I think Lundgaard has got more to offer. I think he's quicker. I think he's maybe better. Again, I'm not too sure, but like I said, I've known Lundgaard more than I have Aitken. I know Aitken through WTF1, like most people, but of course Lundgaard, part of their academy. Yeah, I think Renault didn't want him. They kicked him out. So why would they bring him back? Lundgaard for me, yeah. So I'm going to say for the 16th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, Renault have picked Christian Lundgaard. McLaren are on the clock.
Well, McLaren, it's a very hard pick now. We are running out of drivers, so I'm going to lock in who I was originally going to say. Now, this driver, I can't believe we haven't said him yes. A driver who, we both liked. He's got a really cool name. Just going to say that out there. I don't know why. That's just a weird connection with him. He is the driver of Luca Delatraz. I'm going to say him for McLaren. Again, no real ties to McLaren, but I just think, we'll give him the car, give him the chance, and I think that he could do a really, really good chance. A really, really good drive alongside Checo Perez. That would be kind of a match made in heaven. Jordan, of course, that would be... It would kind of be a McLaren going back to the start. Of course, they're not a Jensen and Fernando. They aren't two of the most skilled drivers. Mm-hmm. But it would be a good... I mean, that's got to be a good team, that McLaren, Checo and Delatraz, isn't it? I mean, What do you think about Luca Delatraz with McLaren?
Yeah, I think pretty much same to... Who was the other driver that we mentioned? Oh, not Delatraz. Oh, Giordo, sorry. Oh, no, it was Marcoloth, sorry. So, yeah, I think Delatraz he's similar to that to Marcoloth, who, of course, we mentioned earlier. I've known him in Formula 2 for a while. He's been there for... I think he's been there for 2 or 3 years, perhaps. He could have been there longer. So I think he deserves a shot in Formula 1. Obviously, he's from Switzerland. Switzerland, I don't think that they haven't produced many Formula 1 drivers in the past. So I think it is time for somebody from Switzerland to come in there, show them what they're worth. I think he's worth it, Delatraz. Lyle, of course, likes his name. I remember him telling me at Silverstone. I think, you know what, Lyle? I said no to Aiken at Renault, but I think absolutely
good. I get the
getting Delatraz in at McLaren. I think you should, yeah.
Good. I don't get me way many times, so finally.
No, you don't. You don't.
So, with the 17th pick of the 2020 F1 Debate Show draft, McLaren select Luca Delatraz. Red Bull Racing are now on the clock.
So Red Bull Racing. Now Red Bull have a really good, foundation of bringing in, some talented F1 drivers over the years. Of course, Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and of course Max Verstappen quite recently, Carlos Sainz and Alexander Albon. So they have done quite well. I don't think they've got actually any drivers in Formula 2 off the top of my head, which is a bit, I think that kind of proves how much that they've been doing, drafting in and bringing back in some old faces. They've kind of run out of drivers, and the other drivers are in the lower ranks of Formula 3, for example. So I think that if we're doing Formula 3, there is one driver I can think of, but I can't name him because he's not in Formula 2. It's against the rules. So for this driver, quickly, I think they haven't had a British driver since 2008, which was David Coulthard. So I'm going to say for this one, Callum Ilott. Callum Ilott is part of the Ferrari Academy, so again he'll be drafted away from the Tifosi, the glitz and glamour of Maranello, Italy, the passion fans, to Milton Keynes, who are very famous for their roundabouts. And that's it. No, I'm only kidding, Milton Keynes. And a really bad football team. Anyway. Callum Ilott, British. Again, Red Bull, based in Silverstone. Most of the team are British, so if they want to try and revitalise the team, bring it... I mean, to be fair, maybe Honda can obviously get one of the Japanese drivers in, but this is our draft, screw you, Honda. Callum Ilott, he's got a lot of potential as well. Could he be, again, the next in line of the next up-and-coming British drivers? We've had Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. Could we see Callum Ilott and George Russell and Lando Norris in Formula 1? That would be really cool to see for us British fans. You know how we like our British drivers. We're very biased over here in the UK, but you should know that. So I think Callum Ilott. Who do we have for Red Bull? Albon, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Albon. And of course, working alongside Alexander Albon, I think those two could get on like a house on fire. I really, really do. Ilott, he's quite timid as well. I've watched a couple of his streams on Twitch. He's not he's quite, timid and stuff. So, and again, Albon is. He doesn't say, he wouldn't say boot to a goose. So, I think those two would just keep, they might, again, 1 or 2 times they might trip over each other's feet. But I think everything will keep stum. That's what Red Bull need. They have been known for their two drivers, clashing heads together. Like Vettel and Webber, and of course Ricciardo Verstappen. So I think if you have Albon and Ilott, that sounds quite. That's got a good ring to it. That so there you go. There's the meme for you. So yeah, I think Ilott. Yeah, I think it'll work well alongside Albon. Sorry. Bring the team forward, bring them up to where they want to be, and of course, like I said earlier, they've got two young drivers. They could be teammates for the next 5-6 years. If that's only if Ilott doesn't deliver and he gets kicked out. Which Ilott, if you're watching this, just be very, very careful with that. Just be very, very careful. Lyle, Callum Ilott, do you think that, or do you think maybe somebody else could do a better job?
No, I completely agree. Callum Ilott sounds good. So I think having a British driver at Milton Keynes would be good. Obviously, British set up in Britain. So I think that would be good. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of that. And of course, British driver. I know that we've mentioned his name a lot. Very up and coming. So yeah, I'm very excited. And obviously, hopefully, he can get to AlphaTauri, and then he wouldn't get AlphaTauri. He's already at Red Bull, isn't he? No, I mean in real life. Sorry, I mean in real life, he could get to those stages. But no, I'm very happy. So yeah, Callum Ilott for Red Bull. Very happy with that.
So yeah, so the 18th pick of the 2020 F1 Debater Draft, Red Bull Racing have got Callum Ilott. Ferrari are on the clock.
I think with Ferrari, there's only one choice to do. Now, of course, Mick has gone, Robert has gone, Jack is still here, but that's the thing though. Like we're at the stage now where I'm like, Jack Aitken, he should have been taken ages ago. But you never know, Mercedes. You might change your mind, John, about Mercedes with Jack Aitken. So my choice is going to be, of course, the young and up and coming guy, the son of Jean Alesi, driver of Ferrari, of course, which is Giuliano. Now, Giuliano Alesi, as I say, I mean, okay, fair enough. He might not be the best driver in Formula 2, of course. He finished 15th in the Formula 2 World Championship from last year. Yes, he isn't skilled, and of course there is a lot of people like there's Alain Prost kid, Nelson Piquet in Formula 2, and there's a lot of kids coming up from fathers of being in Formula 1.
Yeah.
So that's not a reason why he should be world champion. A bit like Max doesn't have to be like that because of yours, but it would just be nice for him to be in that situation. And obviously, John Alesi, great driver for Ferrari. Yeah, there's not much to say, John, apart from I think we should give Giuliano a go at Ferrari. Alongside Carlos Sainz, it could work. I think, he is ready to be a mentor, don't you think? He's mentored Lando a little bit. Now he's ready to mentor Alesi. So yeah, I'm going to say Giuliano Alesi for Ferrari.
Yeah, the Alesi name is well known within the Ferrari, of course, the Ferrari family as well. Jean Alesi drove for Ferrari, like Lyle stated. So absolutely, this is a no-brainer. If these drivers were left, I think Alesi would be snapped up straight away. He is a quality driver. I don't know how good he is. No one really rates him as such, but absolutely, for the namesake, get him in and see what he can do. Alongside, the Spaniard Carlos Sainz. Yeah, I think Carlos Sainz would be a good mentor. He is a quick driver. That relationship could reach a good battle at some point. But no, there's nothing really much more to say on that other than, I completely agree. I think Giuliano Alesi straight in there in the Ferrari and see what he can do.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to lock that in completely as we're getting towards the end now. For the 19th pick of the 2020 F1 Debater Draft, Scuderia Ferrari have selected Giuliano Alesi. Mercedes are on the clock.
So Mercedes have got the final pick in this draft. There's not a lot of drivers left. I've got Sean Galil, Dan Ticktum, everyone's favourite driver, Mashashita. But you know what? I'll get him in, Lyle. I'll bring him in for you. Yes. I think Mercedes might go for him. They might go for him as well. But hey, we'll bring him in for your sake anyway. It's only for a bit of fun. Mazepin. Nah, I'm only kidding. It's Jack Aitken. Mazepin, sorry. Yes. Jack Aitken, of course.
I wouldn't have minded Mazepin, to be honest. I wouldn't have minded that. I wouldn't have minded.
Oh, I'm only kidding. Yeah, Jack Aitken, we'll bring him into Mercedes. Yes, of course, me and Lyle met him at Silverstone. Very nice guy. He is a good driver. We've seen him win his home Grand Prix the Sunday, I think it was the Sunday. Oh, we met him the Sunday, so it would have been the Sunday. So again, race winner, very well experienced. He's got that connection with the younger generation, of course. Like I said, he's got ties in with WTF1. He'll be bringing them in there and having the likes of WTF1, kind of like, our kind. Well, I said not our level, but YouTube wise as well. That'll just shoot everything up to the next level. That'll be incredible for them. But Jack Aitken, I think you could deliver in that. If you put Jack Aitken in that car, you probably won't do as well as George Russell. But I think those two have worked. I think those two were teammates at ART in 2018 when Russell won the championship. I'm pretty sure they were. So of course those two know each other. They're both British. Get them alongside each other. Again, that's a rivalry that could definitely boil over. But those two are very nice guys. We have met George. We have met Jack. He's very nice. I'd imagine he's a very nice, open person. So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent lineup in Mercedes. George Russell and Jack Aitken. Lyle, there's no point handing over to you because I know exactly what you're going to say if I say it. Lyle, what do you think of that? Is there anybody else that could come in and take Jack Aitken's seat?
No.
Exactly.
It's Jack Aitken, John. So yeah, Just go ahead and lock it in.
Oh, go lock it in. So for the 20th and final pick of the 2020 F1 draft, Mercedes have got Jack Aitken. And that is it. We've got 20 drivers. 10 from Formula 1, 10 from Formula 2. Formula 1, of course, we knew more about. Formula 2, we knew one or two, but of course, like I said, this year was supposed to be the year that we followed Formula 2, but it's not going ahead. It's frustrating. Of course, you guys might agree. You might be like, whoa, he's going to that team? Really? You probably won't be thinking that, but it's only for a bit of fun. Formula 1 and Formula 2, it's just something to discuss. The NFL draft is, of course, happening at this present time, or it's already happened now. I'm not too sure. But Lyle, yeah, that's our draft. 20 drivers. I'm pretty sure you're relatively happy with that, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's good. I think the teams will be very happy about that, of course. I mean, as we said about the Formula 1, Formula 2 drivers can turn contract down and things like that. But I can't imagine that they would. Formula 1, Lewis might not be very happy going to Williams, but obviously every Formula 2 driver will be happy. Even Mick going to Williams, they'll be very happy about that. But yeah guys, we hope that you've enjoyed these two episodes. We hope that you agree with our decisions. If you don't, actually we hope that you don't, because we love those arguments and discussions. Leave them in the discussion. Leave them in the discussion box. No, the comment section below the discussion box. The discussion box. Leave them in the discussion box. We can have a big discussion in the. It's been a
long week.
It has, yeah, definitely. But anyway, guys, that is where we're going to end the 2020 draft. Thank you very much for watching both episodes of this. If you do like what you're seeing around here, please like and subscribe to us for more videos like this in the future. F1 and no F1, as I like to say, we keep going at full pelt. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.